3 years in love with a mafia boss, my best friend's father.
I fell for a man I could never have. Victor DeLuca, cold, untouchable, dangerous. He built an empire from blood and shadows, feared by everyone who knew his name. And he was my best friend's father. For 3 years I hid it, buried it, pretended it didn't exist. Until my 19th birthday, in his penthouse above the city, when everything I'd been holding back finally broke open. One look, one moment, and suddenly there was no going back. If you want to know how this ends, stay with me until the final word. Like this video and comment what city you're watching from so I can see how far this story travels.
Otto, Audrey, Varusket. The penthouse smelled like wealth, leather, an expensive cologne, and something floral Elena couldn't name. She stood near the floor-to-ceiling windows, watching the city lights blur into soft gold below, trying to steady her breathing. 19. She was 19 now. An adult, technically. Not that it mattered. Behind her, the party hummed with conversation and laughter. Isabella had insisted on throwing this thing, and Victor had offered the space without hesitation. Elena had wanted something small, maybe dinner with a few people, but Isabella DeLuca didn't do small. Everything in her world was loud and bright and excessive, just like her father's world was quiet and controlled and precise. Elena caught her reflection in the glass. Black dress, simple but elegant, hair down, because Isabella said it looked better that way. Makeup just enough to feel like someone else. She looked older tonight. She wondered if he noticed. Stop hiding by the window. Isabella appeared beside her, champagne flute in hand, grinning. She was beautiful in that effortless way some people were, tall, confident, always the center of attention. This is your party, Lena. You're supposed to be out there. I'm not hiding. You are absolutely hiding. Isabella looped an arm through hers. Come on, Dad's about to do the toast. Elena's stomach tightened. He doesn't have to do that. Too late. He already said he would. Isabella tugged her toward the center of the room where people were gathering, glasses in hand. Besides, he likes you. You're probably the only one of my friends he actually tolerates. Elena didn't respond. She let Isabella pull her into the crowd, her heart beating too fast, her skin too warm. She told herself it was the champagne. She'd had maybe half a glass. Victor stood near the bar, talking to someone she didn't recognize. He wore a dark suit, no tie, the top button of his shirt undone. His hair was gray at the temples, his jaw sharp, his eyes the kind of blue that looked cold until you knew better. He was 46. She knew because Isabella had complained about his birthday last month, said he refused to celebrate it properly. He glanced up, and for just a second his gaze found hers. Elena looked away. Isabella raised her glass. Dad, everyone's ready. Victor said something to the man beside him, then moved toward the center of the room. People quieted. He had that effect. He didn't need to raise his voice or demand attention. It just came to him. I'll keep this short, Victor said, his voice low and steady. Most of you know I'm not good at speeches. A few people laughed. Elena didn't. She couldn't stop looking at his hands, the way he held the glass, the way his fingers curled around the stem. Elena he continued, and her name and his voice made something inside her twist. You've been part of this family for 3 years now. You've put up with my daughter's chaos, which alone deserves recognition. More laughter. Isabella rolled her eyes, but she was smiling. You're smart, driven. You don't take the easy path, and you don't ask for anything you haven't earned. His eyes met hers again, and this time she couldn't look away. That kind of strength is rare. I hope you know that. The room was silent except for the faint hum of the city outside. Happy birthday, Victor said, raising his glass. Everyone echoed it. Elena forced a smile, forced herself to lift her glass, forced herself to breathe. Isabella hugged her, said something about how sweet that was, how her dad never gave compliments like that. Elena nodded, barely hearing her. Her hands were shaking. She needed air. She slipped away while people were still talking, moving toward the hallway that led to the private balcony. No one noticed. Isabella was already pulling someone onto the makeshift dance floor, laughing too loud, alive in a way Elena had never been able to manage. The balcony was empty. Cool air hit her face, and she gripped the railing, closing her eyes. 3 years. 3 years of this.
watching him across rooms, catching his gaze when she shouldn't, feeling her chest tighten every time he said her name. 3 years of telling herself it didn't mean anything, that it was just some stupid crush, that it would fade. It hadn't faded. You left your own party. She turned too fast. Victor stood in the doorway, hands in his pockets, expression unreadable. I just needed a minute, she said. He stepped onto the balcony, and suddenly the space felt smaller. You don't like crowds? Not really. Neither do I. She looked out at the city, trying to focus on anything other than how close he was. Thank you. For what you said. I meant it. I know. Silence stretched between them. Not uncomfortable, but heavy, weighted with things neither of them could say. Elena. She looked at him. His expression shifted, just barely, just enough for her to see something underneath. You should go back inside. Why? Because if you don't, I'm going to say something I shouldn't. Her breath caught. Then say it. Victor stared at her, and for a long moment she thought he wouldn't. That he'd walk away, leave her standing there alone, pretend this conversation never happened. I've been trying not to notice you, he said quietly. For a long time now. It hasn't worked. The world tilted. I know this is... He stopped, jaw tight. I know what this looks like. What it is. I know I shouldn't... I've been in love with you for 3 years, Elena said, the words rushing out before she could stop them. I've tried to stop. I can't. Victor went completely still. I know you're Isabella's father, she continued, her voice shaking now. I know what people would think. I know it's wrong in every possible way, but I don't care. I don't care about any of that. He took a step toward her, then another, until he was close enough that she could see the gold flecks in his eyes, the faint scar on his jaw, the way his chest rose and fell like he'd been running. You should care, he said, voice rough. You should walk away from this. From me. I can't. Elena, can you? His hand came up, fingers brushing her jaw so lightly she almost wasn't sure it was real. No. The kiss wasn't gentle. It was 3 years of want and restraint breaking all at once, his hand sliding into her hair, her fingers gripping his shirt, pulling him closer. She tasted champagne and something darker, felt the heat of him against her, the solidness of his body, the way he kissed her like he'd been starving for it. When he pulled back, they were both breathing hard. This can't happen, Victor said, but his thumb traced her bottom lip. It already did. Your friendship with Isabella, I know. My reputation, I don't care. He laughed, short and sharp. You should. Why? She looked up at him, unflinching. Because you're dangerous? Because people are afraid of you? I've never been afraid of you, Victor. Something in his expression cracked. You should be. I'm not. He kissed her again, slower this time, deliberate. When he pulled back, his forehead rested against hers. If we do this, he said quietly, it stays between us. No one can know. Not yet. Okay? I mean it, Elena. This world I live in, it's not safe. If anyone thinks you matter to me, you become a target. I understand. Do you? He pulled back enough to look at her. Do you understand what you're risking? Do you? That made him pause. For a moment she saw something vulnerable in his face, something that looked almost like fear. I'm risking everything, he said. So am I. Victor's hand cupped her face, and she leaned into it, letting her eyes close. One summer, he said, we see where this goes. If it's too complicated, if it puts you in danger, we stop. One summer, she agreed. And Elena? She opened her eyes. If you change your mind, if this becomes too much, you tell me. No guilt, no questions. Same goes for you. He smiled then, just barely. It transformed his face, made him look younger, less guarded. Deal. Music drifted from inside, muffled and distant. Elena knew she should go back, that people would notice she was gone, that Isabella would come looking, but Victor's hand was still on her face, and she couldn't bring herself to move.
We should go in separately, he said. I know. Neither of them moved. Finally, Victor stepped back. The cool air rushed in where his warmth had been, and Elena wrapped her arms around herself. 5 minutes, he said. Then you come in. She nodded. He walked to the door, paused with his hand on the handle. Elena? Yeah? Happy birthday. Then he was gone. Elena stood alone on the balcony, the city glowing beneath her, her lips still burning from his kiss. She touched her mouth, half expecting to find proof that it had actually happened, that she hadn't imagined the whole thing. Inside, someone turned up the music. Isabella's laugh rang out above the noise. Elena closed her eyes, trying to steady herself, trying to process what she'd just done, what they'd both just done. She was in love with Victor DeLuca, and he'd just kissed her like she was the only thing in the world that mattered. She gave herself 10 minutes instead of 5. When she finally went back inside, Victor was talking to someone near the bar, his expression neutral, his posture relaxed, like nothing had happened. But when she walked past, his hand brushed hers, so quick, so subtle, no one else would have noticed. Elena felt it all the way to her bones. The party lasted another 2 hours. Elena smiled and thanked people and pretended everything was normal. Isabella pulled her into a dozen photos, talking about how this was going to be the best summer ever, how they should go to the coast, maybe Europe, if her dad would pay for it. Elena nodded along, only half listening. Her attention kept drifting across the room to where Victor stood, always in her peripheral vision. He didn't look at her directly. Didn't need to. She could feel his awareness of her like a physical thing. At midnight, people started leaving. Isabella disappeared with some guy Elena vaguely recognized from campus, giggling about going to another party downtown. She didn't invite Elena, which was fine. Better, actually. Elena helped the catering staff clean up, stacking glasses, wiping down surfaces. It gave her something to do with her hands. You don't have to do that. She turned. Victor stood in the kitchen doorway, tie loosened, jacket gone. The staff had left a few minutes ago. They were alone. I don't mind, she said. He walked over, took the glass from her hand, set it down. Elena. She looked up at him. Stay, he said quietly. Her heart stuttered. Isabella is gone. She texted me 20 minutes ago. She won't be back tonight. Elena knew she should say no, should leave while she still could, before this became something she couldn't undo. Okay, she said instead. Victor's expression didn't change, but something in his eyes shifted. He took her hand, threading his fingers through hers, and led her through the penthouse. His bedroom was darker than the rest of the apartment, simpler. A large bed, minimal furniture, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. It looked nothing like what she'd imagined. No excess, no flash, just clean lines and expensive quiet. He closed the door behind them. We don't have to do anything, Victor said, still holding her hand. We can just talk. Elena stepped closer. I don't want to just talk. Elena? She kissed him. He hesitated for half a second, then his control shattered. His hands were in her hair, on her waist, pulling her against him. She tugged at his shirt, desperate to feel skin, to make this real. They fell onto the bed in a tangle of limbs and fabric. Victor pulled back, breathing hard, eyes searching her face. Are you sure? Yes. If you want to stop, I don't. She cupped his face, forced him to look at her. I want this. I want you. Something in him broke. The kiss turned desperate, hungry. His hands mapped her body like he was memorizing it, and she arched into his touch, gasping against his mouth. Clothes disappeared. His skin was warm, solid, scarred in places she wanted to ask about later. He moved over her, in her, and she forgot how to breathe. Forgot everything except the weight of him, the heat of him, the way he whispered her name like a prayer. Afterward, they lay tangled together, her head on his chest, his fingers tracing patterns on her shoulder. Neither of them spoke. The silence was comfortable, weighted with satisfaction and something deeper. Tell me something true, Elena said finally. Victor's hand stilled. What do you want to know? Anything. Something no one else knows. He
He was quiet for a long moment. "I don't let people in," he said. "Haven't in years. It's easier that way. Safer. And now?" His arm tightened around her. "Now I'm terrified." She tilted her head to look at him. "Of what?" "Of how much I want this. You." He met her eyes. "I've built my life on control, discipline. And you walk into a room and all of that just disappears." Elena traced the scar on his ribs, a thin white line she'd noticed earlier. "What happened here?" "Knife fight. Long time ago." "Did you win?" "I'm still here." She pressed a kiss to the scar. Victor's breath hitched. "Your turn," he said. "Tell me something true." Elena thought about it. "I've never felt like I belonged anywhere. My whole life I've been the scholarship kid, the outsider, always working twice as hard just to keep up." She paused. "But with you, I don't feel like that. I just feel seen." Victor shifted, rolling to face her. His hand cupped her cheek. "You are seen, all of you." The kiss was softer this time, gentle. When they broke apart, Elena settled back against his chest, listening to his heartbeat. "What happens tomorrow?" she asked. "Tomorrow we figure out how to do this without getting caught. And if we do get caught, then we deal with it." His fingers threaded through her hair. "But I'd rather not deal with my daughter finding out her father is sleeping with her best friend." Elena winced. "When you put it like that, it sounds exactly as bad as it is." He sighed. "But I meant what I said earlier. I can't walk away from this. From you." "Good." She pressed closer. "Because I'm not going anywhere." They fell asleep like that, wrapped around each other, the city glowing beyond the windows. Elena woke to sunlight and an empty bed. For a moment, panic flared. Had she imagined it? Had last night been some elaborate dream? Then she smelled coffee. She found Victor in the kitchen, already dressed, 2 mugs on the counter. He looked up when she entered, and his expression softened. "Morning," he said. "Hi." She felt suddenly self-conscious, wearing his shirt, barefoot in his kitchen. "I should probably... coffee first." He slid a mug toward her. "We need to talk about logistics." Elena climbed onto a bar stool, wrapping her hands around the warm ceramic. "Logistics? If we're doing this, we do it smart." Victor leaned against the counter, arms crossed. "No texting unless it's encrypted. No public meetings. If anyone asks, you're Isabella's friend and nothing more." "Okay." "I have a place outside the city. Private. We can meet there." "How often?" "As often as you want." His eyes met hers. "But Elena, I need you to understand this won't be easy. I can't take you to dinner, can't introduce you to people, can't acknowledge what this is." "I know. Does that bother you?" She thought about it. "A little, but I'd rather have you in secret than not have you at all." Something in his expression cracked. He crossed to her, cupped her face, kissed her slowly. "You're going to ruin me," he murmured against her lips. "Good." He smiled, a real smile, rare and devastating. "Finish your coffee. I'll drive you home." "Isabella might see." "I'll drop you 2 blocks away." He brushed a strand of hair from her face. "I've been doing this a long time, Elena. I know how to be careful." She wanted to ask what this meant, if he'd done this before, but the answer might hurt, so she kept quiet. They drove in comfortable silence, his hand resting on her thigh. When he pulled over, 2 blocks from her apartment like he'd promised, Elena didn't want to leave. "I'll text you," Victor said. "Tomorrow." "Okay?" "Elena?" She looked at him. "Last night." He paused, jaw tight. "It meant something. You know that, right?" Her chest ached. "Yeah, I know." She kissed him once more, then climbed out of the car, watched him drive away before turning toward home. Her apartment was small and cramped, and nothing like Victor's penthouse. She showered, changed, tried to process everything that had happened in the last 12 hours. Her phone buzzed. "Isabella. OMG, last night was insane. Where did you disappear to?" Elena stared at the message, guilt twisting her stomach. Got tired. Headed home early. Lame. But happy birthday again. Love you. Love you too. Elena set the phone down, staring at the ceiling. She'd just lied to her best friend. The first of many lies, probably. Was it worth it? She thought of Victor's hands on her skin, his voice in the dark, the way he looked at her like she was the only thing that mattered. Yeah, it was worth it. The encrypted message came the next afternoon. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. I'll send you the address. Elena's hands shook as she typed back. I'll be there. She told Isabella she had a study group, told her roommate she was visiting family. The lies came easier than she expected, which should have worried her. It didn't. The address led her to a house an hour outside the city, modern, isolated, surrounded by trees. Victor's car was already in the driveway. He opened the door before she could knock. Hi, she said, suddenly nervous. Victor pulled her inside, kissed her hard enough to make her forget her own name. When he finally pulled back, they were both breathing hard. I've been thinking about you for 36 hours, he said roughly. Good. He smiled against her mouth. Come on, I'll give you the tour. The house was beautiful, all windows and clean lines, minimalist furniture, a view of the forest beyond. This is yours? Elena asked. One of several properties. No one knows about this one except my lawyer. So it's private. Completely. She turned to face him. How long do we have? As long as you want. Elena grabbed his shirt, pulled him down to her level. Then stop talking and kiss me. He did, and they didn't leave the bedroom for hours. Summer unfolded in stolen moments. Afternoons at the hidden house, late nights when Isabella was out, early mornings before the world woke up. Elena learned the geography of Victor's body, the scars, the tension points, the places that made him gasp. He learned hers too, mapping her with a patience that made her feel worshipped. They talked too, about everything and nothing. His childhood in Brooklyn, brutal and poor. Her scholarship to college, the weight of expectations. His rise through the ranks of organized crime, the choices he regretted. Her dreams of law school, of building something that mattered. You could do it, Victor said one night, his fingers tracing lazy circles on her bare shoulder. You're smart enough. Smart doesn't pay for law school. I could. No. She cut him off. I'm not taking your money. Elena, I mean it, Victor. I need to do this myself. He studied her face in the dim light. You're stubborn. So are you. He kissed her forehead. Fair enough. But the next week she found an envelope in her bag. Inside, information about a scholarship program she'd never heard of. No note, no signature, just the paperwork, already filled out in her name. She texted him that night. You can't do stuff like this. I don't know what you're talking about. Victor, it's a legitimate scholarship. You're qualified. I just pointed you in the right direction. She stared at the phone, torn between frustration and something warmer. Thank you. You're welcome. She applied. 2 weeks later, she got the acceptance letter. Full ride. 3 years. When she told Victor, he smiled, that rare, genuine smile that made her heart stop. I'm proud of you, he said, and she believed him. July melted into August. Isabella started noticing Elena's absences, asking questions. Elena got better at lying, which made her feel sick, but didn't stop her. You're being weird, Isabella said one afternoon, sprawled across Elena's bed. Are you seeing someone? Elena's heart jumped. What? No? You are. You're totally seeing someone. Isabella sat up, eyes bright. Who is it? Do I know him? There's no one. Lena, you disappear like 3 times a week. You're always checking your phone, and you have that look. What look? The sex look. Elena threw a pillow at her. I do not have a sex look. You absolutely do. Isabella grinned. Come on, tell me. I won't judge. Guilt churned in Elena's stomach. There's nothing to tell. Isabella's expression shifted, something hurt flickering across her face. You don't trust me anymore? That's not... We used to tell each other everything, Lena. And now you're lying to me about something. I can feel it. Elena wanted to confess, wanted to unload this secret that was getting heavier every day. But she couldn't, not this one. "I'm sorry," she said quietly. "I'm just dealing with some stuff, personal stuff. It's not about you." Isabella stared at her for a long moment, then she sighed. "Okay, but if you need to talk, I'm here. You know that, right?" "I know." But she didn't talk, and the distance between them grew. Late August, Victor took her to the house for the weekend. They cooked dinner together, or tried to. Elena burned the pasta, and Victor's sauce was too salty, and they ended up ordering pizza and eating it on the floor, laughing like teenagers. "I'm terrible at this," Victor said, gesturing at the disaster kitchen. "At cooking? At normal. At being," he gestured vaguely. "This," Elena leaned against his shoulder. "You're doing fine. I run a criminal empire, Elena. I've killed people. I've made decisions that cost lives. And here I am, burning sauce and eating pizza on the floor with a 19-year-old girl." She heard the edge in his voice. "Do you regret it?" "No." He turned to face her. "That's the problem. I don't regret any of this. I should, but I don't." Elena cupped his face. "Then stop overthinking it. It's not that simple." "It is, though. You feel something. I feel something. Everything else is just noise." Victor kissed her, slow and deep. When he pulled back, his forehead rested against hers. "What am I going to do with you?" "Keep me." "I intend to." They made love on the living room floor, pizza forgotten, the windows open to the summer night. Afterward, wrapped in blankets, Victor held her close. "I love you," he said quietly. Elena went still. "What?" "I love you. I know I shouldn't. I know it complicates everything, but I do." Her eyes burned. "Victor, you don't have to say it back. I needed you to know." She kissed him, tasting salt and want and something deeper. "I love you too. I've loved you for 3 years. His arms tightened around her. "We're so fucked. Probably. But you're still here. I'm still here." They fell asleep like that, tangled together, the future uncertain, but this moment perfect. September came too fast. Classes started. Isabella returned from her trip to Europe, full of stories. Elena tried to slip back into normal life, but nothing felt normal anymore. She saw Victor less. Their schedules didn't align the way they had in summer. Stolen hours instead of whole days. Quick meetings instead of long weekends. It wasn't enough. "I miss you," she whispered one night, curled against him in the dark. "I know. I miss you too." "When can we—" "Soon, I promise." But soon never seemed to come, and the weight of the secret was getting harder to carry. Isabella invited her to dinner at the penthouse. "Dad's making his famous lasagna," she said. "Well, his chef is making it, but still." Elena almost said no, but refusing would raise questions she couldn't answer. So she went. Victor answered the door. Their eyes met, and for a second, everything else disappeared. "Elena," he said carefully. "Good to see you." "You too, Mr. DeLuca." Isabella appeared behind him. "Stop being weird, Dad. Let her in." Dinner was torture, sitting across from Victor, pretending they were nothing to each other. His foot brushed hers under the table once, and she almost choked on her wine. Isabella talked about classes, about some guy she was seeing, about plans for fall break. Victor listened, commented appropriately, played the role of attentive father. Elena barely spoke. She couldn't trust her voice. "You okay?" Yes, Isabella asked as they cleared plates. "You've been quiet." "Just tired. Lots of reading." "Law school prep is kicking your ass already?" "Something like that." In the kitchen, alone for 30 seconds, Victor caught her hand. "I'm sorry," he murmured. "For what?" "This. All of it. You shouldn't have to pretend." "Neither should you." His thumb brushed her knuckle. "We'll figure it out." "Will we?" Before he could answer, Isabella walked in. Victor dropped Elena's hand smoothly, turning to the sink. "You two plotting something?" Isabella joked. Just discussing the merits of different dish soaps, Victor said dryly. Isabella rolled her eyes. You're so weird sometimes. If she only knew. Late September, everything fell apart. Isabella came back early. She wasn't supposed to be home. She was supposed to be at her boyfriend's place for the weekend. But the boyfriend had been an asshole and she'd left. And she'd come home to her father's penthouse using her key. And she'd found Elena there, in her father's bed, wearing his shirt. The scream that came out of Isabella's mouth was primal. Elena scrambled up, heart pounding, mind blank with panic. Victor appeared in the doorway, half-dressed, and the expression on his face was something Elena had never seen before. Isabella, he started. What the fuck? Isabella's voice shook. What the actual fuck is this? Let me explain. Explain what? That she's... Isabella turned to Elena, and the betrayal in her eyes was like a physical blow. How long? Elena couldn't speak. How long, Lena? Since June, Elena whispered. Isabella laughed, sharp and broken. June, 4 months. 4 months you've been lying to me. 4 months you've been... She looked at her father. She's 19. She's my best friend. What the hell is wrong with you? Isabella, don't. She held up a hand. Don't you dare defend this. I love her, Victor said quietly. Isabella stared at him. You love her. You... She turned to Elena. Did he manipulate you? Did he pressure you? Because I swear to Christ, if he... No, Elena said quickly. It wasn't like that. I wanted this. I chose this. You chose this. Isabella's voice was hollow. You chose to betray me, to sneak around behind my back, to sleep with my father. I'm sorry. Don't. Isabella's eyes were wet now. Don't apologize. Just get out. Isabella, please. Get out! Elena flinched. She grabbed her clothes, her bag, moving on autopilot. Victor tried to stop her, but she couldn't look at him. Couldn't look at either of them. She left. And behind her she heard Isabella's voice cracking. How could you do this to me? Elena didn't hear Victor's answer. She was already gone. Elena sat on the floor of her apartment, back against the wall, phone clutched in her hand. It had been 2 hours since she'd left the penthouse. 2 hours of silence so loud it hurt. Her roommate was gone for the weekend. The apartment felt too big, too empty, too full of echoes she didn't want to hear. Her phone buzzed. Victor, we need to talk. She stared at the message. Didn't respond. Another buzz. Please, Elena. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard. What was there to say? They'd been caught. Isabella knew. Everything they'd built over the summer had just shattered in the span of 10 seconds. Not tonight. She turned off her phone. Sleep didn't come. She lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying the look on Isabella's face over and over. The betrayal, the disgust, the hurt. Elena had known this would happen eventually, had known from the first kiss on that balcony that there would be consequences. But knowing something intellectually and living through it were two completely different things. Morning came gray and cold. Elena dragged herself out of bed, made coffee she didn't drink, tried to focus on the reading for her Monday class. The words blurred together. Her phone was still off. She didn't turn it on. Sunday passed in a haze. She went to the library, sat in a corner with her laptop, pretended to work. People moved around her, talking, laughing, living normal lives. Elena felt like she was watching them through glass. By Sunday night, she couldn't avoid it anymore. She turned on her phone. 17 missed calls from Victor. 12 texts. 3 voicemails. Nothing from Isabella. That hurt more than it should have. Elena scrolled through Victor's messages. They started desperate, turned angry, ended resigned. Answer me. I know you're upset, but we need to figure this out. Elena, please. I talked to Isabella. It didn't go well. She won't listen to me. Maybe she'll listen to you. I need to see you. Fine. When you're ready, call me. The last message had come an hour ago. Elena stared at her phone. Then she typed, I need time. The response came immediately. How much time? I don't know. Elena, please, just give me space. A long pause. Then, okay, but we're not done talking about this. She didn't respond.
just set the phone down and tried to breathe. Monday morning, she went to class, sat in the back, took notes mechanically, avoided eye contact with everyone. Her phone buzzed halfway through the lecture. Isabella. Elena's heart stopped. She grabbed the phone, hands shaking. We need to talk. Coffee shop on 5th. 1 hour. Elena typed back with trembling fingers. I'll be there. The hour crawled by. Elena couldn't focus, couldn't think. She left class early, walked to the coffee shop in a daze. Isabella was already there, sitting in the corner, 2 cups on the table. She looked tired. Her eyes were red. Elena slid into the seat across from her. Hi. Don't. Isabella's voice was flat. Don't do the small talk thing. Okay? They sat in silence. Elena wanted to say something, anything, but every word felt wrong. I talked to my dad, Isabella said finally. He says he loves you. Elena's throat closed. Is that true? Isabella's eyes were hard. Do you love him? Yes. How long have you felt this way? 3 years. Isabella flinched. 3 years. With everything. And you? I know. Do you? Isabella dropped her hands. Do you have any idea what it feels like to walk into my father's bedroom and find you there? To realize that every time you canceled plans, every time you disappeared, you were with him? I'm sorry. Stop saying that. Isabella's jaw tightened. Sorry doesn't fix this. Sorry doesn't make it okay that you betrayed me. Elena felt tears burning behind her eyes. I didn't know how to tell you. So you just didn't. You just let me walk around like an idiot while you two... Isabella stopped, shaking her head. I defended you to people, you know, when they said you were using our friendship to get close to money, to connections. I told them they were wrong, that you weren't like that. The accusation hung in the air. I'm not... Elena's voice broke. This wasn't about his money or his power. I didn't want any of that. Then what did you want? Him? Just him? Isabella laughed, bitter and sharp. You wanted my father, my 46-year-old father who runs a criminal empire and has more blood on his hands than you could ever imagine. I know what he is. Do you? Do you really? Isabella leaned back. Or do you just see what he shows you? The version of him that's careful and controlled and... She stopped. He's not a good man, Lena. I know that too. And you love him anyway. Yes. Isabella stared at her. I don't understand you. I don't expect you to. Did he pressure you at all? No, I made the first move, actually. That seemed to surprise Isabella. You did? On my birthday, on the balcony. I told him how I felt. And he just... What? Said yes? He tried to stop it, tried to send me away, but Elena swallowed hard. I didn't let him. Isabella was quiet for a long time. You're 19. I know. He's old enough to be your father. I know. This is so fucked up. I know. Stop saying that! Isabella's voice rose. The people at the next table glanced over. Isabella lowered her voice. Stop acting like you know everything. You don't know what this has done to me. You don't know what it's like to look at my father and feel... She stopped, chest heaving. I can't even look at him right now. Guilt twisted Elena's stomach. Isabella, I need you to stay away from him. Elena went still. I mean it, Isabella continued. Whatever this is, end it. Walk away. If you care about me at all, if our friendship ever meant anything, you'll end this. I can't. You can't or you won't. Both. Isabella's expression hardened. Then we're done. Isabella, please. We're done, Elena. Isabella stood, grabbing her bag. I can't be friends with someone who would do this to me. I can't. I won't. Don't do this. You did this. Isabella's eyes were wet. You made this choice. You chose him over me. So now you get to live with that. She walked out. Elena sat frozen, watching her disappear into the street. The coffee in front of her went cold. People came and went.
Elena didn't move. Finally, she pulled out her phone. She won't forgive me. Victor's response came fast. Where are you? Coffee shop on 5th. Stay there. I'm coming. No, she'll find out. I don't care anymore. 20 minutes later, Victor walked through the door. He looked like he hadn't slept. His shirt was wrinkled, his jaw shadowed with stubble. He spotted her, and something in his expression cracked. He slid into the seat Isabella had vacated. Tell me what happened. Elena recounted the conversation, her voice hollow. Victor listened, his face getting darker with each sentence. She asked you to leave me, he said when she finished. Yes. And what did you say? That I couldn't. His hand found hers across the table. Elena, I lost her. The words came out broken. I lost my best friend. I know. She hates me. She's hurt. It's not the same thing. Feels the same. Elena pulled her hand back, wrapping her arms around herself. Maybe she's right. Maybe I should end this. Victor went very still. Is that what you want? No, but maybe it's what I should do. That's not an answer. Elena looked at him, really looked at him. The lines around his eyes, the gray in his hair, the weight he carried in his shoulders. What are we doing, Victor? What do you mean? This, us. Where does this go? You can't acknowledge me publicly. I can't tell anyone about you. We're living in this bubble that was always going to pop. It doesn't have to be this way. Yes, it does. You said it yourself. If people know I matter to you, I become a target. And now Isabella knows, and she's devastated, and we're right back where we started, except everything is worse. Victor's jaw tightened. What are you saying? I'm saying maybe Isabella's right. Maybe this is too complicated, too messy. Don't. His voice was hard. Don't do this. Victor, I told you I love you. Did you mean it when you said it back? Yes. But then don't do this. He leaned forward. I'm not walking away from you, Elena. I don't care how complicated it gets. I don't care who knows. I'm done hiding. Your daughter hates us. She'll come around. You don't know that. No. But I know I'm not losing you over this. His hand cupped her face. I've spent my whole life making calculated decisions, weighing risks, choosing the safe option, and then you happened. You're the first thing in 20 years that I've wanted more than I've wanted control. Elena's eyes burned. This is going to get worse before it gets better. I know. People are going to judge us, say terrible things. Let them. Isabella might never forgive me. Then we deal with it. Victor's thumb brushed her cheek. But I'm not letting you go. Not unless you tell me right now that you don't want this anymore. Elena closed her eyes, felt the weight of his hand on her face, the warmth of his skin, the solidity of him. I want this. I want you. Then that's all that matters. She wanted to believe him, but the look on Isabella's face kept replaying in her mind. Victor drove her home. They didn't talk much. He parked 2 blocks away like always, old habits dying hard. Come to the house tomorrow, he said. We'll figure this out together. What if someone sees? I don't care anymore. Victor, Elena, I mean it. I'm done sneaking around. If we're doing this, we're doing it for real. She wanted to argue, but she was too tired. Okay, she said. He kissed her, slow and deep. When he pulled back, his forehead rested against hers. We'll get through this. Promise? Promise. She climbed out of the car, watched him drive away. The promise felt fragile, like something that could break with the slightest pressure. That night, Elena lay in bed and let herself cry. For Isabella. For the friendship she'd destroyed. For the mess she'd made of everything. Her phone buzzed. Not Victor this time. An unknown number. You think you're the first? Elena stared at the message, ice flooding her veins. Who is this? No response. She waited 5 minutes. 10. Nothing. She blocked the number. But sleep didn't come. The next morning, Victor picked her up himself. No more hiding. He pulled up in front of her building, walked to her door, kissed her in full view of anyone who might be watching. You're really doing this, she said. I'm really doing this. They drove to the house outside the city. Elena tried to relax into the familiar drive, but something felt off. She kept checking the mirrors, watching for cars that might be following. "You're jumpy," Victor observed. "Someone texted me last night. Unknown number." His hands tightened on the wheel. "What did they say?" She showed him the message. Victor's expression went cold. "Could be nothing," he said, but his voice said otherwise. Or someone's trying to rattle you." "Why?" "Because you matter to me, and people who matter to me become leverage." Elena's stomach twisted. "This is what you meant. About being a target." "Yes. So what do we do?" Victor was quiet for a moment. "I have people, security. I'll have them look into it." "You have people? Elena, I run—" He stopped. "I run an organization. I have resources." "A criminal organization?" "Yes." She'd known this, obviously, had known from the beginning what Victor was, but hearing him say it out loud in daylight made it real in a way it hadn't been before. "Does that bother you?" Victor asked. "I don't know," she said honestly. I've never really let myself think about what you actually do." "Maybe you should." "Maybe." She looked out the window. "Tell me something, the worst thing you've ever done." Victor was silent for a long time. "You don't want to know that." "I do." "Elena, if we're doing this, really doing this, I need to know who you are, all of you." He pulled over to the side of the road, turned to face her. "I've killed people. Ordered people killed. I've destroyed lives, ruined families, built my empire on the backs of people who had no choice but to serve me." Elena felt something cold settle in her chest. "How many?" "I stopped counting." "Do you regret it?" "Some of it. Most of it was necessary, survival, but some—" He paused. "Some I did because I was angry, or because it sent a message, and those, yes, I regret those." "What kind of message?" "That I'm not someone you cross, that I'm not weak, that fear is more useful than love." Elena absorbed this. "Do you still believe that? That fear is more useful?" Victor looked at her. "I did, until you." "That's not an answer. It's the only one I have." She should have been scared, should have opened the door and walked away right then. But instead she reached for his hand. "I'm not afraid of you." "You should be." "I know, but I'm not." Victor pulled her across the console, kissed her hard. "You're going to ruin me," he muttered against her mouth. "You said that before." "It's still true." They drove the rest of the way in silence. At the house, Victor made calls. Quiet, clipped conversations in Italian that Elena couldn't follow. She made coffee, tried to distract herself with a book, failed completely. Victor found her on the porch, staring at the trees. "My people will look into the message," he said. "Find out who sent it. And then what? Then we make sure they don't do it again." The threat was implicit. Elena should have been horrified. She wasn't. "Victor, I need to ask you something." "Okay. That first message I got. You think you're the first. What did that mean?" Victor's expression shuddered. "I don't know. Don't lie to me. I'm not—" "Victor." He sighed, running a hand through his hair. "There have been women over the years, nothing serious, nothing that lasted. How many? Does it matter? To me? Yes. 3, maybe 4. They weren't relationships, they were arrangements." Elena processed this. "And Isabella knew about them?" "Some of them. She never cared. They were—" He struggled for words. "Transactional. Everyone knew what it was. And this isn't— No, this is—" He stopped. "You're different." "How?" "Because I love you. Because you're not here for what I can give you. Because when you look at me, you see me. Not my money or my power or what I can do for you." Elena wanted to believe that, but doubt crept in. "How do you know that's true?" "Because you didn't ask for anything. You took the scholarship information I gave you, but you didn't ask me to pay for school."
You didn't ask for jewelry or cars or any of the things the others wanted. You just wanted—" He paused. "You just wanted me." "I did," she said quietly. "I do." He pulled her close. "I know this is hard. I know it's messy and complicated, and nothing about this is easy, but I meant what I said. I'm not walking away. Even if it costs you your relationship with Isabella?" Victor was quiet. "I don't want to lose her, but I won't give you up to keep her." "That's a terrible choice." "I know." They stood there, wrapped around each other, the future uncertain and terrifying. Elena's phone buzzed. She pulled it out. "Isabella, stop seeing my father, or I tell everyone what he really does. Your scholarship, your future. I'll burn it all down." Elena's hands shook. She showed Victor the message. His face went dark, dangerous. "She's bluffing." "Is she?" "She wouldn't do that. She knows what exposing me would mean. She's hurt, Victor. People do stupid things when they're hurt. I'll talk to her." "And say what? That you're choosing me over her? That'll go great." Victor grabbed his phone. Elena caught his hand. "Don't," she said. "Not when you're angry." "She threatened you." "She's your daughter, and she's scared. Let her cool down." "Elena, see—" "Please." Victor stared at her. Then he set the phone down. 24 hours. If she doesn't calm down in 24 hours, I'm handling this. Handling it how? However I need to. That night, they didn't make love. They just held each other, both too wound up, too scared of what came next. Elena kept checking her phone, kept waiting for another message, another threat. Nothing came. Morning brought new problems. Victor's phone rang at 6. He answered, voice sharp, listened for a moment. "When?" A pause. "How many people know?" Another pause. "Contain it. I don't care how. Just do it." He hung up, looked at Elena. "What?" she asked. "Someone leaked a photo, you and me, getting into my car yesterday." Elena's blood went cold. "Where?" "Anonymous blog, small circulation, but it's out there." "What does it say?" Victor handed her his phone. The post was short, brutal. Mob boss Victor DeLuca's newest acquisition, college student Elena Cruz. Sources say she's been his daughter's best friend for years. Guess we know what she was really after. The photo showed them clearly. Victor's hand on her back. Her looking up at him, no mistaking what they were to each other. "Oh my God," Elena whispered. "It's going to get picked up. Once it does, everyone will know." "Yes." Elena sat down, her legs suddenly weak. "This is what you warned me about. I'm sorry." "Don't be. You were right." She looked at him. "What happens now?" "Now we decide. Do we deny it? Do we confirm it? Do we stay silent?" "What do you want to do?" Victor crouched in front of her, taking her hands. "I want to tell the truth. I want to stand next to you and tell anyone who asks that I love you, that you're not using me and I'm not manipulating you, that this is real. That'll make it worse. Probably. People will say terrible things about me. I know. About you too. I can handle it." Elena looked at their joined hands. "I don't know if I can." "Then we deny it. I'll say the photo is misleading, that we're just acquaintances. I'll protect you." "By lying. If that's what it takes." She thought about it, about hiding, about pretending, about going back to the shadows. "No," she said finally. "No? No. I'm done hiding." She met his eyes. "You said you were done. So am I. Let them say what they want. Let them think what they want. I know the truth. You know the truth. That's what matters." Victor's expression shifted. Pride, maybe. Or relief. "You're sure?" "No, but I'm doing it anyway." He kissed her, hard and deep and desperate. When he pulled back, his hands framed her face. "Whatever happens, we're in this together." "Together," she agreed, but she had no idea what that would cost. By noon, the story had spread. 3 more blogs picked it up.
then a local news site. By evening, Elena's phone was flooded with messages from people she barely knew, people she hadn't talked to in years, people who suddenly had opinions about her life. She stopped reading them after the first 10. They all said variations of the same thing. Gold digger, whore, homewrecker. Some were worse. Victor's phone rang constantly. He ignored most of the calls, answered a few with clipped responses that gave nothing away. His face remained neutral, but Elena could see the tension in his shoulders, the way his jaw tightened every time her phone lit up with another notification. "Turn it off," he said finally. "What?" "Your phone. Turn it off. You don't need to see that." Elena stared at the screen. Another message from someone she'd gone to high school with. "Always knew you were trash." She powered down the phone. The silence felt worse somehow. "I should go home," she said. "No." "Victor, I can't just hide here forever." "You're not hiding. You're staying somewhere safe while this blows over." "It's not going to blow over. You know that." He did know that. She could see it in his face. "Then we wait until it settles enough for you to move without being harassed," he said. "And how long will that take?" "I don't know." Elena stood, pacing to the window. The forest outside looked peaceful, untouched by everything happening in the world beyond it. "I have class tomorrow. I have work. I can't just disappear. Take a few days." "I can't afford to take a few days." "Elena, no." She turned to face him. "I meant what I said. I'm not hiding. If I don't show up to class, if I don't go to work, everyone will think I'm ashamed, that I did something wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. Try telling them that." Victor crossed to her, hands on her shoulders. "Then I'll come with you." "That'll make it worse." "I don't care." "I do." She pulled away. "Victor, you showing up at my campus is only going to feed the narrative. Big scary mob boss and his teenage. You're not a teenager. I'm 19, close enough for what they're thinking." His hands clenched. "What do you want me to do?" "I don't know. Let me handle this my way." "Which is what?" "Going to class, going to work, living my life, showing everyone that I'm not some victim who needs protecting." Victor studied her face. "You're going to walk into a room full of people who think they know exactly what you are." "Yes." "That takes guts. Or stupidity. Maybe both." His expression softened. "You don't have to do this alone." "I kind of do, though. If you're there, it proves their point. That I'm some helpless girl who can't function without you. That's not what it would prove." "Yes, it is." Elena touched his face. "I need to do this. I need to show up and hold my head up and prove that I'm more than what they're saying." Victor caught her hand, pressed a kiss to her palm. "If anyone touches you, if anyone threatens you, you call me immediately." "I will. I mean it, Elena. I don't care if it's just words. You call me." "Okay." But she knew she wouldn't. She knew that calling Victor would only make things worse, would only confirm what everyone already believed. That night, she barely slept. Victor held her, his body warm and solid against her back. But her mind wouldn't shut off. She kept imagining walking into her literature class, feeling everyone's eyes on her, hearing the whispers. Morning came too fast. Victor drove her back to the city, parking 3 blocks from her apartment like old times. "I can take you to your door," he said. "No, this is better." "Elena." She kissed him, cutting off whatever he was about to say. "I'll text you when I get home tonight." "Be careful." "I will." She climbed out before she could change her mind. Walked the 3 blocks with her shoulders back, her chin up, even though her stomach was churning. Her apartment was exactly as she'd left it. Normal. Safe. She showered, changed into clothes that felt like armor, checked her appearance in the mirror. She looked tired, scared. She forced her expression into something neutral. Her phone was still off. She turned it on, watched the messages flood in. Most were terrible. A few were from people asking if she was okay, if she needed anything. She ignored all of them. One message stood out. Her academic advisor. "Elena, please come see me when you have a chance. We need to discuss your scholarship status." Ice flooded her veins. She read it 3 times, trying to find a different meaning in the words. Found none. She called Victor. He answered on the first ring. "What's wrong?" My advisor wants to see me. About my scholarship. Silence. Then, they can't pull it because of this. Can't they? It's a merit-based scholarship. Your personal life shouldn't each... Victor, it's a scholarship funded by donors. Wealthy, conservative donors who probably don't want their money going to someone who's... She stopped, unable to finish the sentence. I'll fix this. How? I'll talk to them, explain the situation. That'll only make it worse. You know that. More silence. What do you want me to do? Nothing. Let me handle it. Elena, I have to go. I'll call you later. She hung up before he could argue, sat on her bed, staring at the wall, trying to breathe through the panic. The meeting with her advisor was at 10. She had 2 hours. She used them to prepare, rehearsed what she'd say, how she'd explain. None of it sounded convincing. At 9:45, she walked across campus. People stared. Some whispered. One girl she vaguely knew from freshman year actually took a photo of her. Elena kept walking. Her advisor's office was on the 3rd floor of the Humanities building. The door was open. Dr. Patricia Morris sat behind her desk, reading something on her computer. She looked up when Elena knocked. Come in. Close the door. Elena did. Sat in the chair across from the desk, hands folded in her lap. Dr. Morris studied her for a moment. I assume you know why you're here. The scholarship. Yes. Dr. Morris pulled off her glasses, set them on the desk. Elena, I've been your advisor for 3 years. In that time, you've maintained a 4.0 GPA, published 2 papers, and consistently demonstrated exceptional academic merit. Thank you. However, Dr. Morris paused. The scholarship committee has received several complaints, concerns about your associations. My associations. Your relationship with Victor DeLuca. Elena's jaw tightened. My personal life has nothing to do with my academic performance. In an ideal world, you'd be right. But this scholarship comes with certain expectations. A moral clause. A moral clause. Yes, recipients are expected to uphold certain standards of conduct. Elena felt something hot and angry building in her chest. What standards am I violating? Dr. Morris looked uncomfortable. Elena, Mr. DeLuca is... His reputation is... He's never been convicted of anything. That's not the point. Then what is the point? The point is that the optics are bad. A young scholarship student involved with a man who's... She stopped. It looks like you're using your position here for personal gain. I'm not using anything. I fell in love with someone. That's all. Someone significantly older. Someone with considerable power and influence. Someone whose daughter was your closest friend. Elena flinched. Was? I understand you and Isabella DeLuca are no longer on speaking terms. How do you know that? Dr. Morris didn't answer. She didn't need to. Isabella had probably told her, or told someone who told her. Dr. Morris, please, this scholarship is everything to me. It's my future. I've worked so hard. I know you have, and I want to help you, but my hands are tied. Dr. Morris leaned forward. The committee is voting this afternoon. Unless something changes, they're going to revoke your funding. The room tilted. They can't do that. They can, and they will. What can I do? End the relationship. Publicly distance yourself from Mr. DeLuca. Issue a statement saying you made a mistake, that you're focusing on your education. Elena stared at her. You want me to lie. I want you to save your future. By throwing away the person I love. Elena, be realistic. This relationship, it's not sustainable. You're 19. He's almost 50. He runs a criminal organization. Allegedly. Don't be naive, see? Dr. Morris's voice sharpened. Everyone knows what Victor DeLuca is, and associating with him will destroy your career before it even starts. No law school will touch you. No firm will hire you. You'll be radioactive. Because I fell in love with the wrong person. Because you made a choice. And choices have consequences. Elena stood. Her legs felt shaky, but she forced them steady. Is there anything else? Think about what I said. You have until 5 o'clock to make a statement. And if I don't, then the committee votes, and you lose everything. Elena walked out. somehow made it down the hall, down the stairs, outside. The fresh air hit her face, and she gulped it down, trying not to cry. Her phone rang. Victor. She didn't answer. It rang again and again. Finally, she picked up. What? Elena, what happened? They're voting this afternoon to revoke my scholarship. Silence. Then, what do they want you to do? End things with you. Make a public statement. Grovel. Then do it. She stopped walking. What? Do what they want. Save your scholarship. Are you serious? Yes. His voice was hard. This is your future, Elena. I'm not letting you throw it away for me. I'm not throwing anything away. They're taking it because they don't like who I'm dating. Then date someone else. The words hit like a slap. You don't mean that. I do. Make the statement. End this publicly. We can figure out the rest later. The rest? Victor, what are you talking about? I'm talking about protecting you. By lying? By pretending we don't exist? If that's what it takes. Elena felt something crack inside her. I can't believe you're saying this. Elena, you said you were done hiding. You said we were in this together. We are, but not at the cost of your entire future. That's my choice to make. No. His voice was sharp now. It's not. I won't let you destroy your life for me. You don't get to decide that. Yes, I do, because I love you, and love means protecting you, even from yourself. That's bullshit. Her voice was shaking. You're scared. You're looking for an out, and now you have one. That's not, isn't it? Everything got too real, too public, and now you're telling me to walk away, to save myself. How convenient. Elena, listen to me. No, I'm done listening. She hung up. Her phone immediately rang again. She declined the call. It rang 3 more times. She turned it off. She walked without direction, without purpose. Ended up at the library, found a corner in the back, and just sat there. 5 o'clock came and went. She didn't make a statement. At 6, she turned her phone back on. 17 missed calls from Victor. 8 from an unknown number. 3 voicemails. She ignored all of them. Opened her email instead. The subject line made her stomach drop. Scholarship Committee Decision. Her hands shook as she opened it. Dear Ms. Cruz, after careful consideration, the Scholarship Committee has voted to revoke your funding effective immediately. This decision was made based on conduct violations outlined in Section 4.2 of the Scholarship Agreement. You have 14 days to appeal this decision in writing. Sincerely, Dr. Robert Harrison, Committee Chair. Elena read it twice, then a third time. 3 years of work. Gone. Her phone rang. Not Victor this time. Isabella. Elena stared at the name on the screen, considered not answering, but some masochistic part of her needed to know. What do you want? I heard about the scholarship. Isabella's voice was flat, emotionless. Did you tell them? The committee? I told Dr. Morris you and my father were involved. I didn't know they'd... She paused. I didn't think they'd actually do it. But you told them anyway. I was angry. So you destroyed my future. Great revenge, Isabella. Really mature. You destroyed our friendship first. I fell in love. That's all I did. With my father, Isabella's voice cracked. Do you have any idea how disgusting that is? How every time I look at him now, I see you? How I can't even be in the same room with him without wanting to throw up? I didn't do this to hurt you, but you did hurt me. You... Isabella made a sound that might have been a laugh or a sob. I defended you. To everyone. When they said you were using me to get to him, I said you weren't like that you were genuine. I was. I am. No, you're just like everyone else. You saw an opportunity and you took it. That's not true. Then why him? Why my father? Of all the people in the world, why did it have to be him? Because I love him. You don't love him. You love what he can give you. He hasn't given me anything, except access, connections. And now you've lost your scholarship. What do you think happens next? He'll swoop in, pay for everything, make himself your hero, and you'll owe him forever. Elena's throat closed. It's not like that. Yes, it is. That's exactly what it's like. And the worst part, you can't even see it. Isabella, I'm done. With you, with him, with all of this. Isabella's voice broke. Don't call me again. The line went dead. Elena sat in the silent library, the phone still pressed to her ear, and finally let herself cry. She didn't know how long she sat there. Long enough that the library started closing, the lights flickering in warning. She gathered her things, walked home in a daze. Her apartment felt too small, too quiet, too full of futures that had just evaporated. A knock at the door made her jump. She looked through the peephole. Victor. For a long moment, she considered not opening it, considered leaving him standing there, proving some point she couldn't quite articulate. But she opened the door. He looked terrible. Hair disheveled, shirt wrinkled, eyes red. You lost the scholarship. How did you know? I have people at the university. They told me about the vote. Of course you do. She stepped back, let him in. Did your people also tell you that Isabella's the one who reported us? Victor went still. What? She told my advisor, told the committee. She's the reason they voted to revoke it. I'll talk to her. Don't bother. She's done with both of us. Victor ran a hand through his hair. Elena, I'm sorry about what I said earlier, about ending things. I was trying to protect me. I know. She crossed her arms. But you don't get to make those decisions for me. I know. Do you? Because it feels like you want to control this. Fix it. Make it better. But you can't. It's already broken. Then we'll find another way. Another scholarship. Don't. She held up a hand. Don't offer to pay for it. Don't throw money at this and think it'll solve everything. I'm trying to help. I know, but I need to figure this out myself. Victor stared at her. What are you saying? I'm saying... She stopped, trying to organize her thoughts. I need space, time to think. Elena, I lost my scholarship. I lost my best friend. I'm being called horrible things by people I've never met, and I need to figure out who I am without all of this noise. How long? I don't know. Days? Weeks? I don't know, Victor. Her voice rose. I don't have answers right now. I need to breathe. He stepped closer. I love you. I know. Do you still love me? The question hung between them. Yes, she said finally, but I don't know if that's enough. Something in his expression broke. What can I do? Nothing. Just give me time. Victor looked like he wanted to argue, but he just nodded. Okay, but Elena? Yeah? I'm not giving up on this. On us. Whatever time you need, I'll wait. What if I decide it's too much? Then I'll accept it, but I don't think you will. You seem pretty confident about that. Because I know you. He cupped her face, thumbs brushing her cheeks. You don't give up when things get hard. You fight. It's one of the things I love about you. Elena closed her eyes, leaning into his touch. I'm tired of fighting. I know. Everything hurts. I know. She opened her eyes. I need you to leave. Victor's hands dropped. Okay. He walked to the door, paused with his hand on the knob. For what it's worth, I think you're the bravest person I've ever met. I don't feel brave. You showed up today, went to class, faced them. That's brave. Or stupid. Definitely both. He almost smiled. Call me when you're ready. What if I'm never ready? Then I'll find another way to convince you. He opened the door. Good night, Elena. Good night. He left. She locked the door behind him, then slid down to the floor, back against the wood, and let herself fall apart. 3 days passed. Elena went to class, took notes, pretended everything was normal. People stared, whispered. One guy from her economics class asked her point blank if it was true, if she was really sleeping with Victor DeLuca. She walked away without answering. Her advisor called twice. Elena didn't pick up. What was there to say? She'd made her choice. She'd live with the consequences. On the fourth day, she got a call from an unknown number. Against her better judgment, she answered. "Ms. Cruz?" A woman's voice, professional and cold. "Yes?" "This is Jennifer Marks. I'm an attorney representing several parties interested in your relationship with Victor DeLuca." Elena's stomach dropped. "What parties?"
I'm not at liberty to say, but they're willing to pay you a substantial sum for an interview, your side of the story. I'm not interested. Ms. Cruz, the offer is 6 figures for one interview. You tell your story, answer some questions, and walk away with enough money to finish your degree without the scholarship. Elena's hand tightened on the phone.
"What kind of questions?" "About the nature of your relationship. How it started. Whether there was coercion involved." "There wasn't." "Then you'll have no problem saying so on record." "This is a hit piece. You want me to paint him as some predator." "We want the truth." "No, you don't. You want a story, something sensational, something that sells." "Ms. Cruz, the answer is no. You should think about this. 6 figures is—" Elena hung up. Her hands were shaking. The phone rang again immediately. She declined the call. It rang 3 more times before she blocked the number. But the damage was done. They knew where to find her, knew she was vulnerable, knew she needed money. She called Victor. He answered on the first ring. "Elena, someone just offered me 6 figures for an interview about us." Silence. Then, "Who?" "An attorney, Jennifer Marks. She wouldn't say who hired her." "I'll find out." "Victor, they're going to keep coming. More interviews, more offers." "They smell blood." "I know, I'm handling it." "How?" "You don't want to know." "Yes, I do." He sighed. "I have people looking into who's behind this, who leaked the first photo, who's funding these interviews. When I find them, I'll make it clear that you're off limits. By threatening them. By whatever means necessary." Elena closed her eyes. "This is my life now, isn't it? People offering me money to betray you. Your enemies using me to get to you, always looking over my shoulder. Only if you stay with me." "Is that what you want, for me to leave?" "No, but I want you to choose this knowing what it means, really knowing." "I already chose." "You chose before it got bad. This is bad, Elena, and it's going to get worse." "How much worse?" "I don't know. But I've made a lot of enemies over the years, and if they think you matter to me, they'll try to use you. Can you protect me?" "I can try." "That's not an answer." "It's the only one I have." Elena sat on her bed, phone pressed to her ear, trying to process this new reality. "I don't know how to do this." "Neither do I, but we'll figure it out." "You keep saying that because I believe it. I wish I had your confidence." "You do. You're just scared, which is smart. Fear keeps you alive." "That's a depressing philosophy." "It's kept me alive for 46 years. Elena almost laughed. "Almost. I miss you." "I miss you too. Can I see you?" "Not yet." "When?" "Soon. I need a few more days." "Okay." He paused. "Elena?" "Yeah?" "Thank you." "For what?" "For not taking the interview. For not selling me out when you had every reason to. I would never do that. I know, but it means something that you had the option and chose not to." They talked for another hour, about nothing, about everything. When they finally hung up, Elena felt lighter. Not fixed, but less broken. She could do this. She could survive this. She had to. 2 weeks later, Elena stood outside Isabella's apartment building, her hand hovering over the buzzer. She'd been standing there for 10 minutes, building up the courage to press it. This was stupid. Isabella had made it clear they were done. She'd destroyed Elena's scholarship, cut her out completely, made her position brutally obvious. Showing up here uninvited was only going to make things worse. But Elena pressed the buzzer anyway. Silence. Maybe Isabella wasn't home. Maybe she was ignoring it. Either way, this was... The intercom crackled. "What do you want?" Elena's throat tightened. "Can we talk?" "No." "Isabella, please. 5 minutes." "I said no." "I'm not leaving until you hear me out." A long pause. Then the door buzzed open. Elena took the stairs to the third floor, her heart hammering. Isabella's door was already open. She stood in the doorway, arms crossed, expression hard. 5 minutes, Isabella said. Then you leave. Okay? Isabella stepped aside. Elena walked into the apartment she'd been in 100 times before. It looked the same, messy in that expensive way, art on the walls, designer furniture scattered with clothes and books, like Isabella had just stepped out and would be right back. Except Elena wasn't welcome here anymore. Talk, Isabella said. Elena turned to face her. I'm sorry. For lying to you, for sneaking around, for hurting you. Is that it? No. Elena swallowed hard. I need you to know that I never meant for this to happen. I didn't plan it. I wasn't using you to get to him. How am I supposed to believe that? Because you know me. You've known me for 3 years. You know I'm not that person. I thought I knew you. Isabella's voice was cold. Turns out I didn't know you at all. That's not fair. Fair? Isabella laughed, sharp and bitter. You want to talk about fair? You slept with my father. You destroyed our friendship. You made me an accomplice in your whatever this is, and now you're standing in my apartment telling me I'm being unfair? I'm not saying you don't have a right to be angry. How generous of you. Elena flinched. I'm trying to fix this. There's nothing to fix. We're done. I told you that. I don't accept that. You don't get a choice. Yes, I do. Elena stepped closer. You're my best friend, Isabella. The only person who's ever really seen me. And I know I screwed up. I know I hurt you, but I'm not giving up on us. There is no us anymore. That's not true. Elena, stop. Isabella's voice cracked. Just stop. You made your choice. You chose him. I didn't choose him over you. I chose both of you. That's not how it works. Why not? Because he's my father. Isabella's control shattered. Do you have any idea how messed up this is? Every time I close my eyes, I see you in his bed. I see him touching you. I see... She stopped, pressing her hands to her face. I can't get it out of my head. Elena's chest ached. I'm sorry. Stop saying that. What do you want me to say? I want you to end it. I want you to walk away from him and come back to me and pretend this never happened. I can't do that. Why not? Because I love him. Isabella dropped her hands. Her eyes were wet. You love him more than you love me. It's not the same kind of love. But you love him more. Elena wanted to deny it, wanted to say that wasn't true, but she couldn't. It's different with him. It's not about choosing. It's about, save it. Isabella wiped her eyes roughly. I don't want to hear about how special he makes you feel, how he sees the real you, how it's true love or whatever romantic bullshit you've convinced yourself of. It's not bullshit. Yes, it is. You're 19, Elena. You think you know what love is, but you don't. You're in love with the idea of him, the power, the danger, the fact that he's forbidden. That's not... And he's in love with having someone young and pretty who looks at him like he's not a monster. Isabella's voice turned vicious. You think you're special. You think you're different from all the others. You're not. You're just newer. The words hit like a physical blow. You don't mean that. Don't I? Isabella laughed. My father has been with a lot of women, Elena. A lot. And they all thought they were special too. They all thought they were different. They all thought he loved them. He does love me. For now. Until someone younger comes along. Someone more interesting. Someone who doesn't have all this baggage. Isabella gestured between them. And then you'll be alone. No scholarship, no best friend, no future. Just you and whatever scraps he decides to throw you. Elena felt tears burning behind her eyes. Why are you doing this? Because I want you to wake up. I want you to see what you're throwing away for him. I'm not throwing anything away. You lost your scholarship because of him. I lost my scholarship because you told them about us. Isabella went still. I didn't think they'd actually revoke it. But you told them anyway. When you were angry. When you wanted to hurt me. Yes. Isabella's jaw tightened. I did. And I'd do it again.
The honesty was brutal. Elena had expected denial, excuses, not this raw admission. Why? Elena asked quietly. Because maybe losing everything will make you see sense. Maybe hitting rock bottom will wake you up. Or maybe it'll just prove that you never really cared about me at all. Isabella flinched. That's not true. Isn't it? You destroyed my future because I fell in love with someone you don't approve of. That doesn't sound like friendship. I destroyed your future because you're making a terrible mistake and I'm trying to save you from it. I don't need saving. Yes, you do. You just don't see it yet. Elena stared at her. At this person who used to be her best friend, who used to know her better than anyone, who was now a stranger wearing a familiar face. I came here to apologize, Elena said, to try to fix things between us. But I see now that's not what you want. What I want is for you to end it with my father. And I've told you I can't do that. Won't. Can't, won't, does it matter? Elena moved toward the door. You've made it clear where you stand. I'm not going to keep begging. Elena. She turned. What? Isabella looked like she wanted to say something. Her mouth opened, closed. Finally, she shook her head. Nothing. Just go. Elena left, walked down the stairs out of the building into the cold October air. She made it 2 blocks before she had to stop, leaning against a wall trying to breathe through the pain. Her phone rang. Victor. She almost didn't answer, but she needed to hear his voice. Hi, she said. Where are you? Outside Isabella's building. Silence. How did it go? About as well as you'd expect. Do you want me to come get you? No, I need to walk for a while. Okay, call me when you get home. Yeah. She hung up, started walking. No destination, just movement. Her phone rang again. Unknown number. She'd been getting a lot of those lately. Press, lawyers, people wanting her story. She declined the call. It rang immediately again. Same number. Frustrated, she answered. What? Ms. Cruz, this is Detective Sarah Chen with the City Police Department. I need to speak with you about Victor DeLuca. Elena's stomach dropped. Why? I'd rather discuss this in person. Can you come to the station? Am I in trouble? No. But we have some questions about your relationship with Mr. DeLuca. It would be better to talk face to face. I need to call my lawyer. You're not under investigation, Ms. Cruz. This is just a conversation. Then why do I need to come to the station? A pause. We're investigating Mr. DeLuca's business activities. Your cooperation would be helpful. I don't know anything about his business. That's fine. We still need to talk. Elena's mind raced. When? Today would be ideal. I'm at the station now. I need time to think about this. Ms. Cruz, the longer you wait, the more complicated this becomes, for both of you. Is that a threat? It's a fact. Come in voluntarily now, or we'll have to take other measures. Elena hung up. Her hands were shaking. She called Victor. Elena, what's wrong? The police want to talk to me. About you. About your business. Victor swore. Don't go. They said if I don't come voluntarily, they're bluffing. They have nothing on you. How do you know? Because if they did, they'd arrest you, not call and ask nicely. His voice was hard now, the voice he used when giving orders. Don't talk to them, not without a lawyer. I don't have a lawyer. You do now. I'll send someone. Where are you? She told him. Within 20 minutes, a black car pulled up. A woman in her 50s stepped out, expensive suit, sharp eyes. Elena Cruz? Yes. I'm Margaret Ross. Victor asked me to represent you. Get in the car. Elena climbed into the back seat. Margaret slid in beside her. Tell me everything, Margaret said. Elena recounted the phone call. Margaret listened, her expression unreadable. They're fishing, Margaret said when Elena finished, looking for anything they can use against Victor. You don't have to talk to them. What if they arrest me? On what charge? Being someone's girlfriend isn't illegal. But if they think I know something, you don't know anything, do you?
Elena thought about all the conversations she'd overheard, the phone calls Victor took in Italian, the men who came to the penthouse late at night. No, he kept that part of his life separate. Good, then you have nothing to worry about. So I just, what? Ignore them? For now, if they have questions, they can go through me. Margaret handed her a business card. If anyone contacts you, police, reporters, anyone, you refer them to me. Don't answer questions. Don't make statements. Don't try to help. Understand? Yes. Good. Margaret's expression softened slightly. I know this is scary, but Victor's dealt with worse. So have I. We'll handle it. The car dropped Elena at her apartment. She sat on her couch, staring at Margaret's card, trying to process everything. She'd known, intellectually, that Victor's world was dangerous. But this was different. This was real. The police were investigating him, wanted to talk to her, saw her as a potential weakness. Isabella had been right about one thing. This was never going to be simple. Her phone buzzed, a text from Victor. Margaret filled me in. You okay? Not really. Can I see you? Elena stared at the message. She should say no, should take more time, should think this through. Yes. He arrived an hour later. She let him in, and they just stood there for a moment, looking at each other. I'm sorry, Victor said. For what? All of it? The police, the attention, the fact that loving me comes with all of this. You didn't make them investigate you. No, but my choices put you in their crosshairs. He stepped closer. I can make this easier. If you walk away now, publicly distance yourself, they'll leave you alone. And if I don't? Then it gets worse before it gets better. They'll keep digging, keep looking for ways to use you against me. Can they? Not if you don't give them anything. Elena moved to the window. I saw Isabella today. How did that go? Badly. She thinks I'm making a huge mistake, that you're using me, that I'm going to end up alone with nothing. Maybe she's right. Elena turned. What? Maybe you are making a mistake. Maybe this is too much. Maybe... He stopped, jaw tight. Maybe you should walk away while you still can. Is that what you want? No, but I want you safe more than I want you with me. That's not your decision to make. Elena, no. She crossed to him. I'm tired of people telling me what I should do. What's best for me, what mistakes I'm making. I'm an adult. I get to decide. And what do you decide? That I'm staying, that I love you, that I don't care how hard this gets. Victor's hands framed her face. You should care, but I don't. She kissed him, hard and desperate and real. I choose this. I choose you. Stop trying to push me away. He kissed her back, and for a moment everything else disappeared. The police, Isabella, the scholarship, all of it just noise. They fell onto the couch, pulling at clothes, desperate for the connection. Victor's hands were rough, urgent. Elena met him with equal intensity, needing to prove something, to claim something, to make this real. Afterward, they lay tangled together, breathing hard. I have to tell you something, Victor said. Elena's stomach tightened. What? The investigation. It's serious. They're building a case against me for racketeering, money laundering, extortion. Can they prove it? Maybe. Probably. I've been careful, but... He stopped. I'm not invincible. What happens if they arrest you? I go to trial. Maybe I win. Maybe I don't. And if you don't? Then I go to prison for a long time. The words settled like stones. Elena forced herself to process them. How long? 20 years, maybe more. She sat up. Victor, which is why you need to think about what you're signing up for. If this goes south, you'll be attached to a convicted felon. Your future will be all... Stop. She turned to face him. Stop trying to scare me away. I'm trying to be honest. You're trying to protect me by making yourself look worse than you are. I'm not making anything up. This is the reality. Elena studied his face. Are you guilty? Of what they're accusing you of? Victor held her gaze. Yes. The honesty was brutal. No equivocation. No excuses. Just the truth. All of it? She asked. Most of it. The money laundering? Yes. The extortion? Yes.
Have you... She stopped, not sure she wanted the answer. Have you killed people? Yes. Elena felt something cold settle in her chest. She'd known, abstractly, that Victor was dangerous, that he'd done terrible things, but hearing him confirm it was different. How many? She asked. I stopped counting. Victor, you wanted honesty. This is honest. His voice was flat. I've built my empire on violence and fear. I've hurt people who didn't deserve it. I've made choices I can't take back, and if you stay with me, you're signing up for that legacy. Elena stood, pacing to the window. The city stretched out below, indifferent to her crisis. Do you regret it? She asked without turning. What you've done? Some of it, but not all of it. No. She turned to face him. Why not? Because some of it kept me alive, kept the people I care about safe, built something from nothing. He stood, crossing to her. I'm not a good man, Elena. I've never pretended to be. Then what are you? Complicated, dangerous, someone who's done terrible things for reasons that made sense at the time. His hands settled on her shoulders. Someone who loves you enough to tell you the truth, even if it means losing you. Elena looked up at him. This man who'd killed people, who ran a criminal empire, who might go to prison for the rest of his life. This man who loved her. I need time to think, she said. Victor's hands dropped. Okay. Not about us, about all of this. What it means, what I'm willing to accept. How much time? I don't know. He nodded slowly. I'll go. Victor, no, you're right. It's a lot. You should think about it. He moved toward the door, paused. But Elena, whatever you decide, I meant what I said. I love you. That doesn't change. He left. Elena stood alone in her apartment, trying to process everything. The man she loved was a murderer, a criminal, someone who might spend the rest of his life in prison. And she was in love with him anyway. The next few days passed in a blur. Elena went to class, took notes, pretended to pay attention. At night, she lay awake, staring at the ceiling, trying to figure out what she felt. She should be horrified, should be running, should be grateful for the out he'd given her. But she wasn't. She called her mother. The conversation was awkward. They'd never been close. But Elena needed perspective from someone outside this mess. You're seeing someone? Her mother asked, surprise in her voice. Yeah. Is it serious? I think so. What's he like? Elena laughed, sharp and bitter. Complicated. That's not an answer. Elena stopped. How did you explain Victor to someone who'd never met him? He's older, successful, dangerous. Dangerous how? In every way that matters. Her mother was quiet for a moment. Do you love him? Yes. Does he love you? He says he does. Do you believe him? Elena thought about it. Yes. Then what's the problem? His life is complicated. There are things about him that are... Elena struggled for words. He's not a good person, Mom. Who is? You know what I mean. I do. And I'm asking you, do you love him anyway? Yes. Then you have your answer. It's not that simple. It is, though. Love is always simple. It's everything else that's complicated. Her mother paused. When I met your father, everyone told me not to marry him, said he was unreliable, that he'd never amount to anything, that I could do better. And they were right. He left when you were 3, never paid child support, never called. Her mother's voice was matter of fact. But I loved him, and I don't regret having you, even if the rest of it was a disaster. Elena didn't know what to say to that. What I'm saying is, people will always have opinions, always tell you what you should do, but you're the one who has to live with your choices. So make the choice you can live with. They talked for a few more minutes before hanging up. Elena sat with her mother's words, turning them over. Make the choice you can live with. Could she live without Victor? Probably. She'd survived worse. Could she live with him?
With everything he was, everything he'd done? That was the harder question. Her phone buzzed. Margaret Ross. The police are pushing harder. They want to subpoena you. We can fight it, but it'll draw more attention. Thought you should know. Elena stared at the message. Then she called Victor. Elena? They want to subpoena me. I know. Margaret told me. What do I do? You let Margaret handle it. You don't. I want to talk to them. Silence. What? I want to tell them I don't know anything, that you kept that part of your life separate. Maybe if I cooperate, they'll leave me alone. Elena, no, if you talk to them. What? What happens if I talk to them and tell the truth? That I don't know anything about your business? That we kept it separate? They'll twist your words, make it seem like you know more than you do, and use you to build their case. Or they'll realize I'm not useful and move on. That's not how this works. Then explain to me how it works, Victor, because from where I'm standing, I've got the police breathing down my neck, reporters calling me, my best friend refusing to talk to me, and no scholarship. So tell me, what exactly am I protecting by staying silent? Me. You're protecting me. And what are you protecting? You. By pushing me away? By telling me how terrible you are? By trying to convince me to leave? By being honest about what staying with me means? Elena closed her eyes. I'm so tired, Victor. I know. I'm tired of fighting, tired of hiding, tired of feeling like I'm doing everything wrong. Then stop. Stop what? Stop fighting. Stop hiding. Stop trying to make everyone else happy. His voice softened. What do you want, Elena? Not what Isabella wants. Not what your advisor wants. Not what I want. What do you want? She thought about it, really thought about it. I want you, she said finally. I want this. Even if it's hard, even if it's messy, even if everyone thinks I'm making a mistake. You're sure? No, but I'm doing it anyway. She heard him exhale. Okay. Okay? Okay, we do this together. No more pushing you away. No more trying to protect you from yourself. What about the police? We let Margaret handle it. You don't talk to them without her present. And he paused. We go public, properly. No more hiding. Victor, you're right. Hiding isn't working. It's making things worse. So we stop hiding. We tell the truth. We deal with whatever comes. Elena felt something loosen in her chest. What about Isabella? I'll talk to her. Really talk to her. Make her understand. She won't listen. She will, eventually. She's stubborn, but she's not stupid. She'll see that this is real. You have a lot more faith in her than I do. She's my daughter. I know her. She hates me. She's hurt. It's different. Elena wanted to believe that, but Isabella's words kept echoing. You're just newer, not special. Just another woman her father would eventually discard. Victor, I need to ask you something. Okay. Those other women, the ones before me, did you love any of them? Silence. No. Why not? Because they wanted something from me. Money, protection, status. It was transactional. And with me? With you, it's... He stopped. You're the first person in 20 years who's made me feel something real, who's seen me as more than what I can provide, who's... His voice cracked slightly. Who's made me want to be better? Elena felt tears burning. I'm not going to fix you. I know. I'm not going to make you a good person. I know that too. So what am I to you? Everything. The word hung between them. I'm coming over, Victor said. Okay. He arrived 20 minutes later. Elena opened the door and they just looked at each other for a moment. Then Victor pulled her into his arms, and Elena let herself collapse into him. Let herself stop being strong, stop holding it together, stop pretending she had all the answers. I'm scared, she whispered against his chest. Me too. What if this doesn't work? Then at least we tried. She pulled back to look at him. Promise me something. Anything. If this falls apart, if it becomes too much, Promise me you'll be honest, that you won't just disappear or push me away, that you'll tell me. I promise. And promise me you won't go to prison. He almost smiled. I can't promise that. Try anyway. I'll try. They spent the night tangled together, talking until the sun came up, about the future, about the past, about everything they'd been avoiding. When morning came, Elena felt different. Not fixed, not healed, but clearer. She knew what she was choosing, knew what it would cost, and she was choosing it anyway. Victor called Isabella 3 times before she answered. When she finally picked up, her voice was ice. What? We need to talk, in person. I don't have anything to say to you. Then just listen. He paused. Please, Isabella, I'm your father. Give me that much. A long silence. Where? The penthouse, tonight. Fine, but if she's there, she won't be. Just you and me. Isabella hung up without responding. Victor told Elena about the conversation that afternoon. They were at the house outside the city, her head on his chest, his fingers tracing patterns on her shoulder. What are you going to say to her? Elena asked. The truth, that I love you, that this isn't going away, that she needs to accept it. She won't. Maybe not today, but eventually. He kissed the top of her head. She's angry right now, hurt. But underneath that, she's still my daughter. She still loves me. Love doesn't fix everything. No, but it's a start. Elena shifted to look at him. What if she makes you choose? Her or me? Victor's expression hardened. Then I choose you. Victor, I mean it. I love my daughter, I always will, but I won't let her dictate my life. Won't let her decide who I can love. You'll regret it. If you lose her, I'll regret losing you more. His hand cupped her face. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, Elena. A lot of choices I can't take back. But you're not a mistake, and I'm not giving you up. Not for anyone. Elena wanted to argue, wanted to tell him that Isabella mattered, that family was everything, that he couldn't just walk away from his daughter, but the certainty in his voice stopped her. Okay, she said quietly. Okay? If she makes you choose me. I accept that. Victor pulled her close, and they stayed like that until the sun started to set. That night, Victor stood in his penthouse, waiting. Isabella arrived at 8, exactly on time. She looked tired, older somehow, like the last few weeks had aged her. Thanks for coming, Victor said. Isabella didn't respond, just walked past him into the living room, sat on the couch with her arms crossed. Victor poured 2 glasses of scotch, handed one to her. She took it but didn't drink. I know you're angry, he started. Angry doesn't begin to cover it. Then tell me. Tell me what you're feeling. Isabella stared at her glass. I feel betrayed, disgusted, like I don't even know who you are anymore. I'm the same person I've always been. No, you're not. She looked up at him. The father I knew wouldn't sleep with my best friend, wouldn't lie to me for months, wouldn't... Her voice broke. You're supposed to protect me, not hurt me. I never meant to hurt you, but you did. You chose her over me. I didn't choose her over you. I chose her for me. That's the same thing. No, it's not. Victor sat across from her. Isabella, you're my daughter. You'll always be my daughter. Nothing changes that. But Elena, she's something else, something separate. She's my age. I know. She's my friend, or she was. I know that too. So how can you not see how messed up this is? Victor took a drink, buying time to organize his thoughts. When your mother died, I shut down. You know that. I threw myself into work, into building the business, into making sure you had everything you needed. But I stopped. I stopped letting anyone in. I know all this. Let me finish. He set down his glass. For 20 years, I've gone through the motions. I've had women, sure, but they were arrangements. Nothing real. Nothing that touched me. And Elena's different. Yes. Why? Because she sees me. Not the money, not the power, not what I can do for her, just me. And for the first time in 2 decades, I feel—" He stopped, searching for the word. "Alive." Isabella's jaw tightened. "That's really romantic, Dad. Except you forgot one thing. She's my best friend. You don't get to steal my best friend and call it love." "I didn't steal her." "Yes, you did. You used your age, your power, your everything to seduce her. She came to me, Isabella, on her birthday. She told me how she felt. I tried to send her away. But you didn't." "No, because I felt the same way." Isabella stood, pacing to the window. "I can't get the image out of my head. You and her, together, it makes me sick. I'm sorry." "Stop saying that. Sorry doesn't fix this." "Then what will? Tell me what you need from me." She turned to face him. "I need you to end it. Walk away from her. Choose your daughter over some girl you've known for 4 months." "I can't do that." "Can't or won't?" "Both." Isabella's expression crumpled. "Then we're done." "Isabella Gio." "No. If you won't choose me, then I'm choosing me. I'm done with you. With her. With all of this." She grabbed her bag. "Don't call me. Don't text me. Just leave me alone." She walked toward the door. Victor stood, following her. "Isabella, wait." She stopped, hand on the doorknob. "I love you," Victor said quietly. "You're my daughter. That will never change. And when you're ready to talk, really talk, I'll be here. Don't hold your breath." She left. The door closed behind her with a soft click that felt like a gunshot. Victor stood alone in his penthouse, staring at the closed door, feeling the weight of his choice settle into his bones. He'd chosen Elena, and it had cost him his daughter. He texted Elena, "She's gone." It didn't go well. The response came immediately. "I'm sorry." "Don't be. I made my choice." "Do you regret it?" He stared at the question, thought about Isabella's face, the hurt in her eyes, the finality in her voice. "No, but it hurts anyway. I can come over, please." Elena arrived 30 minutes later. Victor let her in and she just wrapped her arms around him without saying anything. They stood like that for a long time. "She hates me," Victor said finally. "She hates both of us. This is my fault. I should have handled it better, should have told her from the beginning. She wouldn't have taken it any better 3 months ago. Maybe, but at least I wouldn't have lied to her." Elena pulled back to look at him. "What do we do now?" "We give her time, space, let her process. And if she never comes around, then I live with that." "Can you?" Victor thought about it, really thought about it. "I don't know, but I know I can't live without you, so I guess I'll have to figure it out." They spent the night together, not talking much, just being present. In the morning, Elena made coffee while Victor took calls. The investigation was heating up. Margaret said they were getting close to an indictment. "How long?" Elena asked when he hung up. "Weeks, maybe days." "And then?" "Then they arrest me. I post bail. We prepare for trial." "How long does a trial take? 6 months? Maybe a year?" Elena absorbed this. "And what do I do during all that?" "Whatever you want. Go to school, build your life. Don't put it on hold for me." "I don't have a scholarship anymore, remember?" "I'll pay for it." "Victor, before you argue, just listen." He set down his coffee. "This isn't about controlling you or making you dependent on me. This is about not letting them win. They took your scholarship to punish you for being with me. Don't let that decision destroy your future. If you pay, it proves them right. That I'm with you for the money. Who cares what they think? I do." "Why?" Elena struggled to articulate it. "Because I need to know. I need to prove to myself that I'm more than what they're saying, that I can stand on my own." But Victor studied her face. "Okay, then we find another way. Another scholarship, student loans, something. There's a wait list for the other scholarships, and my credit isn't good enough for private loans. Then what? I'll take a semester off. Work. Save money. Reapply next year." "Elena, it's fine. I'll figure it out." But it wasn't fine. Victor could see it in her eyes, the defeat she was trying to hide. She'd worked so hard, sacrificed so much, and now her future was on pause because of him. He made a decision. 2 days later, Elena got a call from the university. The scholarship committee wanted to meet with her. She went, confused and wary. Dr. Morris was there, along with Dr. Harrison, the committee chair, and a woman Elena didn't recognize. "Ms. Cruz, thank you for coming," Dr. Harrison said. "We wanted to discuss your scholarship status." Elena's stomach tightened. "I thought that was decided." It was. However, we've received new information that's changed our perspective. "What information?" The unknown woman spoke. "I'm Jennifer Caldwell, director of the foundation that funds your scholarship. I've reviewed your academic record, spoken with your professors, and examined the circumstances around your relationship with Mr. DeLuca." Elena waited, not daring to hope. "The committee's decision was made hastily," Jennifer continued, "based on incomplete information and, frankly, some bias. After reviewing everything, I've decided to override that decision." Elena's breath caught. "What?" "Your scholarship is being reinstated, effective immediately." "I don't understand." "You're an exceptional student, Ms. Cruz. Your academic performance speaks for itself, and your personal life, while unconventional, doesn't negate your merit." Jennifer leaned forward. "The foundation was created to help talented students who wouldn't otherwise have access to higher education. You are exactly who we're supposed to support." Elena felt tears burning. "Thank you. Thank you." "There is one condition," Dr. Harrison interjected. Elena's hope faltered. "What?" "You maintain your current GPA. No special treatment, no excuses. You prove that this decision was the right one." "I will, I promise." She left the meeting in a daze, called Victor immediately. "They reinstated it." "What?" "My scholarship. They're giving it back." Silence. "How?" "The foundation director overrode the committee's decision. She said—" Elena stopped. "Victor, did you do this?" "No." "Are you sure? Because if you—" "Elena, I swear, I didn't do anything." She wanted to believe him, but the timing was too convenient. "I need to see you," she said. They met at the house. Elena confronted him the moment she walked in. "Tell me the truth. Did you have anything to do with this?" Victor looked her dead in the eye. "No, I didn't contact the foundation. Didn't threaten anyone. Didn't pay anyone off. Then how? I don't know. Maybe they realized they made a mistake. Maybe someone advocated for you. Maybe—" He stopped. "Does it matter?" "Yes. Because if you fix this—" "I didn't. I wanted to. I called Margaret, asked her to look into options. But she said there was nothing we could do without making things worse." He took her hands. "I'm as surprised as you are." Elena searched his face. He was telling the truth. She could see it. Then who? They found out 2 days later. Isabella called Elena, first time in weeks. "We need to talk," Isabella said. "Okay." They met at the same coffee shop, neutral ground. Isabella looked better than last time, less angry, more tired. "I talked to the foundation," Isabella said without preamble. Elena went still. "What?" "I called Jennifer Caldwell, told her what happened. Told her that the committee's decision was bullshit. That you deserved the scholarship regardless of who you were dating." "Why would you do that?" "Because I was angry at you, not at your future." Isabella's jaw tightened. "What I did, telling the committee, that was revenge, and it was wrong." "Isabella, let me finish." She took a breath. "I've been thinking a lot. About you. About my dad. About everything. And I realized something." "What?" "That I was angrier about losing you than about you being with him." Elena felt her chest tighten. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying—" Isabella stopped, eyes wet. "You were my best friend, the only person who ever saw me as more than Victor DeLuca's daughter. And when I found out about you and him, I felt like I was losing that, losing you. You didn't lose me. I pushed you away, destroyed your scholarship, said horrible things." Isabella wiped her eyes. "I was trying to hurt you the way you hurt me, and all I did was make everything worse." "Isabella, I'm not saying I'm okay with this.
With you and my dad. Because I'm not. It's still weird and uncomfortable, and I hate it. She looked up. But I hate losing you more. Elena felt tears spilling over. I'm sorry for lying to you, for sneaking around, for not being honest from the start. I'm sorry, too, for being a vindictive bitch. They both laughed, watery and broken. So where does this leave us? Elena asked. I don't know, but Isabella paused. Maybe we can figure it out, slowly. Okay, slow is good. I'm not going to suddenly be okay with you dating my father. I know. And I'm probably going to say inappropriate things and be weird about it. I can handle that. And if you hurt him, I'll destroy you. Elena almost laughed. I thought you hated him right now. I do, but he's still my dad. And if you break his heart, you'll deal with me. Fair enough. They sat in silence for a moment. Can I ask you something? Isabella said. Yeah. Do you really love him? Like, actually love him? Not the money or the power or the danger? Elena thought about Victor, about the way he held her in the dark, the way he listened when she talked, the way he saw her, really saw her, in a way no one else ever had. Yes, she said. I really love him. Isabella nodded slowly. Then I guess I'll try to be okay with it. That's all I'm asking. They talked for another hour, not fixing everything, not erasing the hurt, but starting to rebuild. Slowly, carefully, one conversation at a time. When Elena told Victor, he looked relieved and terrified at the same time. She's trying, Elena said. That's something. It's everything. He pulled her close. Thank you. For what? For not giving up on her, on us, on any of this. 3 months later, the indictment came down. Victor was arrested at 6 in the morning. Margaret had him out on bail by noon. The trial was set for the following spring. Elena stood by him through all of it. The press conferences, the court appearances, the endless speculation. People said terrible things, called her a gold digger, a home wrecker, a naive child. She learned to ignore it, learned to focus on what mattered. Victor, for his part, started making changes. Not overnight transformations. He was still who he was, but small shifts. He started distancing himself from the most violent parts of his business, started looking for legitimate investments, started thinking about what legacy he wanted to leave behind. I can't undo the past, he told Elena one night, but I can try to do better going forward. Why now? Because you make me want to be better, not perfect, but better than I was. The trial lasted 8 weeks. The prosecution presented their case with brutal efficiency. Wiretaps, financial records, witness testimony. They painted Victor as a ruthless criminal who'd built an empire on suffering. The defense countered with character witnesses. Business partners, community members, people who spoke about Victor's philanthropy, his loyalty, his intelligence. Elena sat in the courtroom every day. Isabella came too, sitting on the opposite side but present. The jury deliberated for 3 days. When they came back, Elena's heart was hammering so hard she thought everyone could hear it. The foreman stood. On the charge of racketeering, we find the defendant guilty. Elena's breath stopped. On the charge of money laundering, we find the defendant guilty. Victor's expression didn't change. On the charge of extortion, we find the defendant not guilty. 2 out of 3. Elena didn't know if that was good or bad. Sentencing was set for 6 weeks later. Margaret said they'd likely recommend 15 to 20 years. With good behavior, maybe 12. That night, Elena and Victor sat in his penthouse, not talking. I'm sorry, he said finally. Don't be. I'm going to prison, Elena, for a long time. I know. You don't have to wait for me. She looked at him. What if I want to? You're 20. You have your whole life ahead of you. You shouldn't spend it waiting for a criminal to get out of prison. That's my choice to make. Elena? No. She moved to sit beside him. You don't get to push me away now, not after everything. I'm trying to give you an out. I don't want an out. I want you. Victor's hand found hers. 12 years is a long time. Then we'll figure it out. Phone calls, visits, whatever they allow. You'll meet someone else, someone better, someone who's not locked up. Maybe, but I'll meet them while I'm still in love with you. So that doesn't seem fair to them. He almost smiled. You're stubborn. You say that like it's news. They sat in silence, hands linked, futures uncertain. I love you, Victor said quietly. I love you too. Promise me something. Anything. Promise me you'll live your life, go to law school, build your career. Don't put everything on hold for me. I promise. But Victor? Yeah? You have to promise me something too. What? That you'll come back to me, that you'll survive in there, that you won't... Her voice broke. That you won't give up. I promise. Sentencing came. The judge gave Victor 15 years. With good behavior, he'd serve 12. Elena cried in the bathroom afterward. Isabella found her there. Hey, Isabella said softly. Hey, you okay? No, but I will be. Isabella hesitated, then pulled Elena into a hug. It was awkward and imperfect, but it was something. He'll survive, Isabella said. He's too stubborn to do anything else. I hope you're right. I am, and Isabella pulled back. I'll be here while he's gone. If you need someone, you don't have to do that. I know, but you're still my friend, even if things are weird. Elena managed a smile. Thanks. The first year was the hardest. Victor was transferred to a federal prison 4 hours away. Elena visited once a month. They talked on the phone when they could, but it was never enough. She threw herself into school, top of her class, editor of the law review, everything Victor had told her to do. Isabella slowly came around. Not all at once, not easily, but she stopped being hostile, started inviting Elena to coffee, started talking about the future. I still think it's weird, Isabella said one day. You and my dad. I know, but I also think... She paused. I think he's different with you. Better, maybe. More human. He was always human, Isabella. Not to me. To me, he was always just Dad. The guy who solved problems with money and power and fear. She stirred her coffee. But with you, he's... I don't know. Vulnerable, I guess. Everyone's vulnerable with the right person. Maybe. Isabella looked at her. Do you think you'll wait the whole 12 years? I don't know. I'm trying to take it one day at a time. That's probably smart. Elena hesitated. Can I ask you something? Sure. Do you forgive me? For real? Isabella thought about it. I'm working on it. Some days are easier than others, but yeah, I think I do. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. I'm still going to be weird about it sometimes. I can live with that. Year 3, Victor called with news. They're moving me to a minimum security facility. Good behavior. That's great. It means more privileges, more visits, better conditions. When? Next month. Elena felt something loosen in her chest. I'll be there. First visit they allow. Elena, don't tell me I don't have to. I know I don't have to. I want to. He was quiet for a moment. How's school? Good. I got an offer to clerk for a federal judge after graduation. Elena, that's incredible. I know. It's everything I wanted. I'm proud of you. Thanks. I wish you could be there for graduation. Me too, but I'll be thinking about you. They talked until the time ran out. When Elena hung up, she felt the familiar ache of missing him, but also something else. Hope, maybe. Year 5, Elena graduated top of her class. Isabella threw her a party. Victor called from prison, and they put him on speaker so he could hear the celebration. I wish I was there, he said, voice rough. Me too, Elena replied. You're going to be an amazing lawyer. I learned from the best, how to argue anyway. He laughed. Fair enough. After the call, Isabella pulled Elena aside. You're really waiting for him, aren't you? Yeah. All 12 years? However long it takes. Isabella shook her head. I don't know if that's romantic or insane. Probably both. Definitely both. Isabella hugged her. But I get it now. Why you love him, why he loves you, it's real. It is. Then I'm happy for you, both of you, even if it took me 5 years to get there. Elena hugged her back, feeling like maybe, finally, they'd found their way back to friendship. Year 7, Elena was working at a prestigious firm, building her career, making a name for herself. People still whispered about her connection to Victor DeLuca, but it mattered less now. She'd proven herself. She visited Victor every month without fail. They'd fallen into a rhythm. She'd tell him about her cases, her life. He'd tell her about the books he was reading, the programs he was taking, the ways he was trying to become someone worth coming back to. 5 more years, he said during one visit. I know. You've waited 7 already. You could... Victor, if you tell me one more time that I can leave, I'm going to stop visiting. He smiled. You wouldn't. Try me. Okay, I'll stop. Good. He reached across the table as close as they were allowed. I don't deserve you. Probably not, but you're stuck with me anyway. I can live with that. Year 10, Victor was eligible for parole. Elena hired the best lawyers, prepared the best case. Isabella wrote a letter supporting his release. The parole board reviewed his case. Denied. 2 more years, Margaret said. Then we try again. Elena took the news to Victor. He seemed unsurprised. It's okay, he said. It's not okay. You've served 10 years, you've done everything they asked, taken every program, been a model prisoner. And I'll do 2 more. Then we try again. I hate this. I know, but Elena... He leaned forward. We're almost there. 2 more years. I can do 2 more years. So can I. Year 12, the parole board reconvened. This time, they approved. Victor was released on a Tuesday in March. Elena was there, waiting outside the prison gates when he walked out. He looked older, grayer, thinner, but his eyes were the same. They stood there for a moment, just looking at each other. Then Victor crossed to her, and Elena threw her arms around him, and they held each other like they were afraid to let go. Hi, he said against her hair. Hi. You waited. Of course I waited. He pulled back to look at her. You're beautiful. You're free. Yeah, I am. Isabella was waiting at the penthouse. She hugged her father, awkward and emotional. Welcome home, Dad. Thanks, sweetheart. I'm still weird about you two. I know. But I'm glad you're back. Me too. That night, after Isabella left, Victor and Elena stood on the balcony where it had all started. The city glowed beneath them, unchanged. 12 years, Elena said. 12 years, Victor agreed. Was it worth it? He looked at her. Are you still here? Yeah. Then yes, it was worth it. She kissed him, and it felt like coming home. 6 months later, Victor proposed, not with a grand gesture or expensive ring, just a quiet question on an ordinary Tuesday. Marry me, he said. Elena looked up from her coffee. What? Marry me. I want to spend whatever time I have left making up for the time we lost. Victor, I know I'm not a good man. I know I've done terrible things, but I love you. And I want to spend the rest of my life proving it. Elena set down her coffee. Okay. Okay? Yes, I'll marry you. He kissed her, and she tasted coffee and hope and the future they'd fought for. They married 6 weeks later. Small ceremony, just Isabella, Margaret, and a handful of close friends. Nothing fancy, nothing elaborate, just vows and promises and the choice to keep choosing each other. Isabella stood as Elena's maid of honor. She cried during the ceremony, which surprised everyone, including herself. I'm not crying because I'm happy, she said afterward. I'm crying because this is still weird. But you're here, Elena said. Yeah, I'm here. Victor started a foundation. Not to erase his past, nothing could do that, but to do something good with the time he had left. They focused on scholarship programs for underprivileged students. Education. Second chances. Elena ran it with him, used her legal expertise to structure it properly.
They called it the Second Chances Foundation. Bit on the nose, don't you think? Isabella joked. Probably, Victor agreed, but accurate. 3 years after his release, Victor and Elena stood in the foundation's new building, watching students file in for their orientation. We did something good, Elena said. You did something good. I'm just trying to make up for the bad. It's working. He pulled her close. You know what I realized? What? I spent my whole life chasing power, control, respect through fear, and none of it made me happy. And now? Now I have you, and this, and he gestured at the students, a chance to leave behind something that matters. You always mattered, Victor. Not the way I do now. Elena leaned into him, watching the students. Kids who looked like she had at 19, scared and hopeful and fighting for a future. We're giving them what no one gave us, she said. A chance. Yeah, a chance. Isabella joined the foundation board the following year, not because she believed in redemption narratives or second chances, but because she believed in education, and because somewhere along the way she'd stopped seeing Elena as the woman who'd stolen her father and started seeing her as family. You're annoyingly good at this, Isabella told Elena after a board meeting. At what? Making my dad happy, being successful, not being the disaster everyone predicted. Thanks.
I think it's a compliment. Isabella paused. I'm glad you didn't give up. On him, on us, on any of it. Me too. 5 years after Victor's release, Elena stood at a podium accepting an award for the foundation's work. Victor sat in the front row, Isabella beside him. She talked about second chances, about how people weren't defined by their worst moments, about how love, real love, meant choosing someone even when it was hard. When she finished, the room erupted in applause. Victor stood, and for a moment their eyes met across the crowd. He mouthed 3 words. I love you. She mouthed them back. After the ceremony, they drove to the house outside the city, the one where they'd spent that first summer building something fragile and impossible. You know what I think about sometimes? Elena said. What? That night on the balcony, my 19th birthday, when this all started. What about it? If I'd known everything that would happen, losing my scholarship, Isabella hating me, you going to prison, 12 years of waiting, would I have still done it? Would you? Elena thought about it, about the pain and the struggle and the cost, about Isabella's betrayal and the whispers and the judgment, about 12 years of phone calls and prison visits and sleeping alone, about Victor's hand in hers, about the foundation, about Isabella, finally, cautiously, becoming her friend again, about the life they'd built from wreckage. Yes, she said, I would have done it anyway. Why? Because some things are worth fighting for, even when the fight is ugly, even when you lose more than you win, even when everyone tells you you're making a mistake. Victor pulled her close. I don't deserve you. You're right, you don't. But you're stuck with me anyway. I can live with that. They stood on the porch, watching the sun set over the trees. 2 imperfect people who'd made 1,000 mistakes and somehow found their way to something real. Love, Elena had learned, wasn't about perfection. It wasn't about having all the answers or making all the right choices. It wasn't about other people's approval or fitting into neat categories. It was about choosing someone every day, even when it was hard. Especially when it was hard. It was about standing beside them when the world said to run. It was about building something together, brick by brick, even when half the world wanted to tear it down. It was about looking at someone who'd killed and lied and hurt people, who'd spent 12 years in prison, who'd destroyed lives in his quest for power, and choosing to see the person underneath. The one trying to do better, the one capable of change. Not because he deserved it, but because that's what love was. Choosing to see the best in someone, even when they showed you their worst. What are you thinking about? Victor asked. That we made it. We did. Against all odds. The best stories usually are. Elena smiled. Are we a story now? We were always a story. We just didn't know how it would end. And now? Now we write the rest together.
She kissed him as the sun disappeared behind the trees, painting the sky in shades of gold and red. And for the first time in 13 years, since that night on the balcony when a 19-year-old girl had confessed her love to a dangerous man, Elena felt something she hadn't felt in a long time. Peace. Not because everything was perfect, not because the past had been erased, not because people had stopped judging or whispering or making assumptions, but because she'd made her choice, and she'd stand by it. And whatever came next, they'd face it together. That was enough. It had always been enough.